how can you be a better teammate today? How can you focus on like relentlessly competing, like competitive grit, okay, from one possession to the next, all right? Like I want to see when we start going up and down and competing, you know, how do you get to the next play? Can you be completely dialed into that? All right, we can get on the bounce. We're going to go back cut and pop. Back cut and pop. All right, we're going to hit the white back cut, hit the white cut. Corner drill, Drew, I got you. There you go. All right, another edition of Two-Man Weave right here on SoCon Fast Break. Samuel Dada, sophomore here at Western Carolina. And so you ready for the Two-Man Weave?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Let's go. All right. Okay, obviously summer workouts are going on right now, but also the World Cup. How much more focused are you on the World Cup right now? I know you're a big soccer fan.
Yes, I am. I grew up playing soccer, you know. I started playing basketball when I was 13. So from age 6 to 13, I was playing soccer my whole life.
Yes.
So I'm really big on soccer.
Of course. All right, so give me the scoop. Who do you think is the favorite now heading into the quarterfinals?
The team that I wanted to win lost already.
Yeah.
So right now I want France to win it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, so now is Mbappe, is he your favorite player?
Yes, he is.
Okay, all right, so just even from the perspective though, as far as playing soccer and now basketball, how much have you been able to utilize soccer skills in basketball, especially like footwork?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's probably the best thing about me is my footwork. You know, playing soccer, and then when I started playing basketball, I was like 6'4" at 13, so it was like, easy for me. My hand to eye coordination is good. My feet is good. So the switch up is like easy for me. It just, you know, like I grab everything pretty quickly. Yeah. So. Yeah. All right, so one of the things that I've seen you been able to grab pretty quickly is rebounds, right? Yes. Talk about that, and just, it seems, I mean, somehow you have a knack for getting rebounds, understanding how the ball's coming off the rim. Hey, that's our coach. That's the coaches. I mean, playing high school basketball, I averaged like 13, 11 rebounds, but I was just, because I'm tall, you know, I go for every ball. But playing college basketball is different. You know, you gotta eat like the 250-pound guys and stuff. And so when
it's physical, right?
It's different, way different. So I came here, and the coaches, they told me what to do. You know, we call it DYJ, which is like do your job. You gotta know when to crash and when to go back. Yeah. And I just like focus on that, and it worked like really well for me.
Yeah. Well, you've got a high motor. I mean, the motor is always spinning from that standpoint, and even it seems like when you dunk, it's like you have some aggression, like you wanted to break the rim.
Hey, sometimes, but I'm not pretty big on dunk like that. I just wanna, you know, put the ball in the hoop. But yeah, in practice, I'll be dunking really hard, but I wish I could do that in the game every single time. Yeah. And hopefully I do that this year.
You shoot a high percentage also, almost 70% from the field. So, I mean, there is something to be said that you're scoring pretty easily in terms of the field goal percentage. All right, but what about Western Carolina? What drew you here to Cullowhee, North Carolina, and being part of the Catamount Nation?
The coaches, first of all, Coach Kraft and the staff, like, you know, good people. And I went to a postgrad called Link. Yeah. And my coaches over there already know Coach Kraft, so he told me about Coach Kraft, you know. So going from postgrad 2 years, like pretty much the same thing for me. Yeah. The way Coach Kraft taught us to do something is the way my other coach taught us to do something. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go here, and everything went well for me. And I actually didn't think I was gonna play my freshman year.
Oh, you didn't?
No, really, but you know, he gave me the opportunity to play, and I just took it. So.
Oh, you took advantage of it, right? All right, so then heading into this 2026 season, though, what are you most excited about?
Everything. We have 4 returners, so we have like 9 new guys, or I think 11 new guys. It's gonna be fun, you know, doing what we did last year. as a freshman learning stuff from the other guys. So now to like, teach them
Yes, right.
what to do. So
you're the veteran guy now.
That's going to be fun to do, playing with new guys and just letting them know, we got to do what the coaches want us to do.
Yeah. All right. So how much are you showing some of these new people, and even last year, what jollof rice is?
Last year, one of my teammates was from Sierra Leone. So they have their own version of jollof rice.
Yeah.
So I told them, I was like, Nigeria has the best one. So we was doing like a cookie competition. This week I made Nigerian jollof rice. The other week he made Sierra Leone. I was like, nah, we got the better one. But we haven't moved into our dorm yet, so I can't cook. I haven't cooked for these guys yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Pretty much when we come back in August, maybe.
Okay. Do you fashion yourself as a good cook?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
For
you
sure.
love cooking?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Where'd you get that from?
My mom.
Okay.
My mom, and I'm the fourth son, and I only have brothers, so that's why.
Everybody's
I've been cooking
into
for my brothers. Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. Hey, well, thanks for joining Two Man
sir.
Weave, and best of luck this upcoming season. Yes.
Thank you.
Again, it's competing to win every possession, all right, every rep, your best.
Hey, family on 3, 1, 2, 3, family.
All right, Coach, finally got you on SoCon Fast Break. It's been a minute that we've been trying, but hey, everybody's schedule is crazy, but here we're in the summer, and I'm just curious from you as we're here just in the auxiliary gym, and it's quiet. Isn't there something about just the peaceful quietness of a basketball court in a gym?
Yeah, I enjoy that when you walk out here and it's just the smell of the wood. And,
it's almost like I want to whisper right now. Use my
right,
golfer
right.
voice.
You picture the Hoosiers gym, at the beginning of Hoosiers when they walk in there. It's always a great place to be. The gym for a coach.
That's right. Does it re-energize you summertime? Because now, it's so changed where, years ago, it seems like there was, an opportunity where you could decompress a little bit, but it's not that way
There's
anymore.
not a lot now, so what I would say is that the spring recruiting is a beast for everybody.
Yeah.
And your staff is just grinding to get your roster in place. And then you don't have a lot of time in between that when you solidify the roster and then when your players then come to campus to start practicing.
Yes.
And where, everything is churning back up again. We actually took a little bit of time. We brought our guys back later. We brought them back later, and we're doing just a little bit shorter segment in the summer because I felt like we kind of needed that time to get organized and recharged. And so, you're a little worn out, but I feel like when the players get here and you get the new guys in there and the energy that it brings you and your staff and just the excitement to start working with them is always great. It's a great time. I really enjoy the summer because there's not for me, it's like you don't have the pressure of the game to prepare for.
Of course.
So you can kind of just get them out there and coach ball and not walk off the court, stressed out about we didn't cover this right, we never got to this.
Yes.
And, so I enjoy the summer practice for sure.
What about the summertime with your staff and what that means? Just being able to continue the bonding, but also, again, it's not the day-to-day, course of the season where, it's film review, it's, scouting the next opponent. It's actually a time where you guys can really evaluate not only the past season, but evaluate the upcoming season and the players that you've recruited.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, to go back and, figure out what you could have done a little better last year, watch film on the new players before they get here and study all that together and spend some time together. One of the things we're doing this summer is our staff is going to lift weights with the players. So we're all in there doing the same workout that they're doing, which we really haven't done before, just to kind of be around the guys a little more, be around each other a little more, and that's been fun.
Yeah, whose idea was that?
It was my idea.
Okay.
And I'm not a guy that works out a lot. Like I fail to keep a consistent workout regimen. But I just thought this could be fun for us to be together a little more, be around the guys a little more.
That's
we
right.
had a little more time in the summer.
So are they testing you guys?
We've been enjoying it.
In the weight
I mean,
room,
it's
or
been
like,
all
"Come on,
good.
Coach."
We're all, I mean, it's been all good. They might make fun of the weight I got on the bar or something like that a little
That's
bit.
right, yes.
Because it's just not real. It's not a lot.
Yes. Well, but there is an aspect of, if you're requiring these players to work out, and can you also model that and somewhat be an example, especially if working out hasn't been something that's been part of your routine. It's kind of walking the walk. So
Well,
to
I do
speak.
think for all of our, for humans in general, right, it's important to exercise and stay in shape. So
Yes.
that's a byproduct of kind of what we're doing. Is we're in there working together. But really, the reason I really want to do it is just to be around the team more.
Yeah, of course.
And just interact with them in a different way.
That's right.
We got 10 new players. So,
Yeah.
trying to just be around them, see them in different environments more. That's really the reason why we did it. But it's been fun to just, even work with your staff and, encourage each other and
Yes,
spot each
exactly.
other, and that's been good.
All right, then, Coach. Well, then, who's the strongest on the staff then?
It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me. We got a couple guys in there that are pretty strong.
All right, Coach, talking about working out, why is it so challenging from a discipline standpoint to not fall into that drift where next thing you know, it's been 6 months and you haven't worked out?
Well, for me, I've been really poor at that my whole professional life, really. I've kind of gone through some stages of staying consistent with that, but it should be more of a priority for me, but it hadn't, you just get so busy. And I got 4 kids at home.
Course.
So, it's, managing the job and then everything that comes with being a husband and a father.
That's right.
And for me, working out consistently has certainly taken a back seat.
Yeah.
But it's been nice to get in there with the players and do that this summer.
Well, it's one of those things that you talked about. I mean, life gets so busy, and I think there's something about just as us as human beings. I mean, priorities. If it's a priority to you, you'll find time.
That's right.
I know we
It's
can
true.
say, "Oh, I don't have time." Well, you just haven't put it as a priority. But I do think it's one of those things that there's so many benefits from it, but it's just hard.
Yeah.
And again, as you're trying to get these players to consistently work out, again, you have to, almost live the same way in terms of, you got to walk the walk and obviously talk the talk.
Yeah, no, that's true. You certainly got to take care of your health, right?
Yes.
If whether it's sleep, how you eat, exercise, all that type of stuff. I think it helps you do a better job as a coach.
Yeah. And now, from that perspective, over the years, you've been coaching for a while, and I'm not trying to age you or anything, but you've just got the experience. You're wise from that standpoint. How have you seen things change over the years from a working out perspective for players, a recovery perspective for players, nutrition, and how there's much more focus on that and the benefits of focusing on those things?
Yeah, I think the science has probably just gotten better, right? With everything, the science has gotten better.
Yeah, a little more than just, hey, here's some Gatorade.
Yeah, it's gotten more specialized. We got our strength coach who's locked into that, and he's pouring into nutrition with our players, and so I just think everything's become more detailed, and as the science has gotten better and more specialized, and I think the players in the game have certainly benefited from that.
Yeah. Are you a detail-oriented type of guy?
I am. Yeah, I am. That's kind of my personality. Is really, planned and thought. Think through, what we're doing, and the thing I got to get better at is when I was telling my players that when the plan doesn't go exactly the right way, or something gets, a wrench gets thrown into to the things that I've thought through.
Yes.
Is how to deal with that and make a quick adjustment. And but I'm by nature like to really kind of script out every scenario that could possibly occur and have it all thought through.
When do you go through that process? I mean, are you like a morning person that wants to take that time each morning and kind of walk through what your day might look like, or even walking through, hey, this is what the next 2 weeks are going to look like?
I'm more of a morning person. I mean, you try to plan out ahead, but I'm more of like, I wake up early. I wake up really early.
When you say early, what does that mean?
Well, like right now in the summer, it's more like 5.
Oh, okay.
During the season,
that's early.
Yeah, during the season, it'll be earlier. I might wake up at 4:30. And really, I got into practice because, one of the biggest priority for me is to spend some time with the Lord in the morning.
Yes.
So before I have any other responsibilities, is getting up early and spend that time, in prayer and in the Word. And that kind of really, fuels and jumpstarts my day.
Of course.
But then I'll start to work on practice plan and watching film and all that type of stuff right after that.
Yeah.
And then the chaos starts to pick up around my house as kids start getting ready for school and stuff like that. And that's about the time I go into the office. But I do like to do a lot of that planning early. My staff has shown me how you can now send text messages, like you can time them up, you can set the time later.
That's right.
And so that was a huge deal for me because whenever I'm thinking about something, I can text them. I don't have to text them at 5 or, I can text them, they're going to see it at 8.
That's right.
So
yes.
That's been a nice thing for them probably too.
Oh, technology advancing does help things.
Right.
That's for certain. Now, as we were talking about just the quietness of a gym, that's one of the things that I love also, like my house. And I remember years ago before my kids, now they're all grown, but I loved that morning time. The house was quiet, had my coffee, and just could spend time, in my faith and getting the day ready.
Yeah.
How's your mornings then? Is it? Do you have the routine? Are you a coffee guy?
Yes, I am. I drink a lot of coffee.
Even throughout the day?
I'll drink it up until probably maybe 9 or 10 o'clock,
Okay.
and then I might have, if we have a later practice, I might get another cup here for practice. But I love that morning time. I look forward to it. For life in general, just to be able to be focused on what your priorities are, the perspective. I think in coaching, your perspective can get sideways fast, because the results that everybody's looking at, is the one on the scoreboard.
That's right.
But getting into your, just kind of meditating on the Word and getting into the Bible and praying and just really spending time thinking about what are we doing this for as coaches, and how can I focus on not only our team playing the best that we can play and hopefully winning a lot of games, but the character of our team and our players and our staff and how we can, have the right perspective all through the ups and downs throughout all that. So that, 45 minutes to an hour for me in the morning is critical for, for me to do it right.
Yeah. When you say perspective and kind of finding that perspective, what does that mean? Like, how is your perspective and how has it changed where it's not just, the success of a season is based on, we didn't win the championship, so it was a failure of a season.
Yeah. I think certainly, we got great fans here at Western Carolina, and they have an expectation for us to compete for a Southern Conference championship, and we want to bring that to them desperately. I have loved just getting to know, the people here and how passionate they are about Western Carolina, but in how they love basketball. So being able to bring something to them like that would be super special. And so we really want it, and it's important. It's important to all of us to win and to put a great product on the court. But I think being at peace with doing everything that you can to be the best that you can be as a coach, and for our team to get our team in a place where we're doing everything that we can to achieve the best results and doing it the right way in terms of the way we do it. Yeah. And then sometimes the results are what they are, and if they're not, if you don't come out with the win, that you can still be at peace with the fact that hey, we gave it everything we had.
That's right.
And we tried to do it the right way, and we tried to do it in a way that honors God.
That's right.
So That's when I think about perspective. That's the perspective for me personally. Is trying to have a peace and a joy, regardless of maybe the roller coaster of the season, whether it's wins, losses, injuries, other things.
Especially things you can't
things
control.
in life. But being able to just kind of be steady about having the same peace and the same joy. That's the kind of perspective that I want to have as a coach, that I want our team to really have as well.
For sure, because winning is hard.
It's really hard, especially in this league.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. What did you learn your first season? Now heading into your third season here at Western Carolina, though, but when you first got into the Southern Conference, how has your perspective of this conference changed over the past few years?
I had a pretty good understanding of the league. I was in the Big South so long in this region, so competed against a lot of the teams in the Southern Conference. But, being now in the league for 2 years, I think it's a really physical league.
I think it's much more physical than people believe. Because, I know offense is at a premium in this league, but it's physical.
It is. Obviously the shooting, is so good. But I think the physicality and the way the league is officiated, which I like, allows you to play a little more physical at times. And that's something at least we felt like going from, Big South into the SoCon. We thought it was a more physical league. I think the schools really invest and are invested in men's basketball here from the top to the bottom at a pretty strong level, and so it just makes it more competitive.
Oh, it does. Exactly. There's parity in this league.
Yeah.
Any given night. And I know you've experienced that on the positive and the negative side of the wins or a loss.
Sure. Yeah, great coaching, which I knew that coming into the conference, and we had the same in my previous league. But it's a really competitive. I've enjoyed it so much, and the fan bases are great. The crowds,
no doubt,
are great. And then the conference tournament is one of the best in the country.
Yes.
It's one of the best conference tournaments in all of college basketball.
I think it's so underrated.
Yeah,
just in terms of from a national narrative, people need to come and experience it. And what they do downtown, there's the city of Asheville. It feels like a high major.
No doubt.
Type of tournament because everybody's invested in the tournament.
Everybody's there. The regional footprint of the league and Asheville being so close to everyone. And so, we have Western Carolina fans, I'm sure everybody in the league, like they already have their Airbnbs and places, reserved for next year. Yeah. So just the history of the event, Asheville does a great job with it. Ingles, the Southern Conference. It's just a great team. And, it's something that I think is a real special thing for this league for every player to take part in that at the end of the year.
That's right. How much do you still think about this past tournament and the lead that you had against ETSU?
Yeah, I think about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Not as much now, that our players are in here, but we were actually watching film with them, and there were some clips from that game, and so some of our returners are like, "Oh, we got this game on." So it took me a while to watch the game.
It did.
It took me a while to kind of get off. Took a little time for me to go back and rewatch it. But it was a great game, and it hurts and you're disappointed because we knew we had a really, really good team and we had a great chance.
You guys were playing well at that point.
Yeah, we had won 7 straight, right? And won 7 straight. So, we felt like we had a team that could certainly at the end be standing there on the podium or whatever. So
that's right.
That's why it hurt. And we got off to a great start. We're playing really well. And hey, East Tennessee State was the Southern Conference champs for a reason. They're really good and certainly extremely well coached, and they just battled back and we didn't have a lot of answers there in the last 6 minutes. So, it's something that you probably never really get over.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because you only have so many opportunities and only one team gets to cut the nets down. So I think all of us as players and staff will always be, disappointed that we weren't able to hold on to that lead. And
I think Ryan Ritter is saying the same thing.
He's saying the same thing, right?
Yes.
I mean, he could have easily, we came back to win that one.
Yes.
So in some ways, we were fortunate to be playing in the game. But certainly things you look at and you wish you could have done a little better.
Of course.
That's where you try to have that perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly. How long did it take you, though, to have that perspective? I mean, have you had that your entire coaching career, even as an assistant coach? Or
I would say that I've had as a big picture, I that has been my perspective throughout my career. But in terms of living it every day, it has not been very good. Probably the last, I don't know if it's 6 or 7, 8 years, I've done a much better job of spending that time every day with the Lord to just fuel myself up,
of course,
to
and stabilize yourself too.
And I think like the gratitude and being thankful for the profession that we get a chance to be
coaching college basketball.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So we should be enjoying what we're doing every day, but unfortunately, I think a lot of us as coaches allow our own expectations of trying to be successful impact the enjoyment and the day-to-day just kind of losing yourself in that. So just trying to remind myself every day and doing a good job of being consistent with that, and it's been much better for me over the years if I've matured as a coach.
When was the last time you had one of those moments where you thought you were just going to pack it in and be done with coaching?
I mean, there's been a few, there's been a few, but there's always been kind of a stage of just getting re-energized again.
Okay.
And I just think as people we're built differently, and just for whatever reason, the way I'm built, man, I've gotten different periods of my career, experience that kind of burnout and frustration,
of course,
with the profession.
Yeah.
You got to continue to just remind yourself what a great job we have, and I think there's always been a point where I've been re-energized to dive back into it, and maybe had something happen where, man, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. This is where the Lord has me right now to try to impact young people.
Yeah. The fear of failure, though, is that real for you?
I would say it is now.
Yeah,
it's now. But throughout my coaching career, at times that has been.
Okay.
I wouldn't say now I really struggle with that. Thankfully.
Yeah. Like, how was it your first time as a head coach? I mean, do you feel that? I'm ready, or did you feel unprepared? Or I mean, that's a big step.
I think a little bit when you get your first head coaching job, at least for me. It's you feel like you're ready and you're prepared, but it's like, man, I've never done this.
Yeah.
And so there's certainly some anxiety with you being the guy that makes all the decisions. That's right. And then as you start to go through it in that first year, you realize you got all these decisions that you're gonna make in every single area.
That's right.
And so I think as you grow as a coach, you learn how to delegate certain things and be able to focus on the things that you really enjoy, the things that bring you the most energy, and get people around you that can help you with some of the other things. But I think probably every guy when they start as their first head coaching job, you have a little anxiety to just being the one that's out front making the decisions. But
that's right. Well, I remember my first assistant coach position and blowing the whistle for the first time. It's like, oh, wow, because I'm barely older than some of the players at the time. And you just have that trepidation, that, okay, I guess I can blow the whistle right here. And I've talked to several coaches also about that step where they become the head coach, from assistant coach position. And, they're in the moment and they're talking to their assistants, hey, we need a timeout. And the assistants say, well, call a timeout, coach. It's your decision now.
I think you feel more pressure, and it's just a little more lonely, because at the end of the day, you're the leader as much as you're leaning on your staff, and I do a ton. I got a great staff, but you know, at the end, like you're making that decision, so there's a little bit of loneliness there at times that you got to be, you know, adjust to.
And that's tough. That lonely position.
Well, yeah, it can be. It can be. And I think when I, you know, in my time, my first head coaching job, you know, those first few years that's where I struggled. You know, but it's, you know, I've really enjoyed growing through that and maturing and and learning how to better you know, just maintain the perspective that you need.
Well, you had early success there at Gardner-Webb, that's for certain. I remember I'm Clemson grad,
right?
And what was it, 2014? It was down in the Bahamas, is that right?
Yeah, it was in St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, okay,
St. Thomas, yeah.
There it was, I do remember that, and unfortunately, it was Rod Hall calling a timeout. So
right.
Clemson didn't have any timeouts right there.
That's exactly right. We gave us a chance to win the game.
What is it like being somewhat of that, you know, upset team because Clemson's not the only one. I think Purdue's in that mix where you've been able to beat some of these high majors. Yeah,
we were able to win some of those games, and it's a lot of fun. You know, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's I think there's no better feeling than that as a player. You know, I think our guys love that, and they
showing you can compete.
Yeah, your players love the opportunity to try to play against the best teams in the country. And so, you know, I've always played that challenging schedule, and we've done that here, and we haven't won any of those yet here. So, and I think it's harder now, you know, with the way the game's changed and evolved with NIL and all of that type of stuff. I think those are harder games to win, but we're hoping to do that this year. Hopefully we can get one of those.
And so you talk about that just in terms of how you view it. How has it really changed with NIL, and why there might be a little bit more gap between highs and mids?
Well, I just think the financial opportunities that are out there for players now, you have, you know, maybe some guys that are maybe the 8th, 9th, and 10th guy, you know, in a Power 4. Some of those players would have still been at a mid-major.
That's right.
That you would have had a chance to potentially develop, and you know, they'd be a seniors or redshirt senior, you know, and you have an older team. So now, you know, it's a little different. Guys have the opportunity to, you know, because the resources at that Power 4 level are just so high.
That's right.
And there's such a difference between, you know, the mid-major level and that level most of the time at most places. So I just think sometimes can create a bigger gap for sure.
No doubt. High school recruiting then for you, how does high school recruiting mix into the transfer portal and, you know, having to bring in guys? Well,
I you know, the way we've done it here, you know, we signed 4 high school players this year and 6 transfers. And last year we had, I think, 3 freshmen. So it's still been a big part of what we want to do. It happens a little differently, you know, where like this time of year in July, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, we're out recruiting the whole month.
That's
right. You remember?
Oh yeah.
And you're trying to, you know, generate some momentum and a list of the guys you're trying to bring in to sign early, you know, and you're every year you were trying to sign, you know, 3 or 4 guys probably early. And now we don't do that as much because we, you know, like this year we have such a new team. We're not exactly sure what we're going to need in terms of positionally.
That's right.
How many high school kids, how many transfers. So you're still evaluating the high school players, and I still think it's really important. I think we got 4 really quality freshmen this year. And I do think because of people being so focused on the portal at times that at the mid-major level, at our level, sometimes you can get a high school player that's more talented than you used to be able to get.
Someone getting overlooked.
For sure, you know, and last year we had 2 freshmen that were terrific for us. So I think for us, it's high school recruiting is going to continue to be a big part of what we do, and we hope we can retain, you know, those freshmen for as long as possible.
That's right. High school recruiting will still be a foundation.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But I think, the way it's built now too, you're going to have, the portal guys that you gotta go get too. So
Yeah.
it's a mix.
What are those conversations like in terms of players that decide to transfer out of Western Carolina here, out of Cullowhee, in terms of your conversation with them, being somewhat of, somebody who's experienced life and understands the situation and, helping them come to these decisions? Because I know it's not easy. A lot of people think the transfer portal is so glamorous and all of that, but I think it can be a challenge for these players. How do you guide them?
I think it can be. It's I think the unfortunate thing is sometimes guys, I think, feel external pressure in the environment right now that if they had a really good season, that like if they don't go into the portal, it's almost like something's wrong with them.
Yes.
From the outside. And I get that and I understand it because we talked about the financial piece to it is even more than my years at Gardner-Webb. You didn't lose many guys, but every now and then you'd have one that would, transfer up to a power four or whatever. And so, you have that opportunity to play at a place that has some more resources, that type of thing, bigger stadium for all, maybe a better chance to go to the NCAA tournament because you're in a league that's got more bids.
That's right.
But now you're also dealing with the financial implications. And so like these guys right now, I mean, when the season's over, we had some really good players that had a chance to go to some places where, they're making more money than me. and a lot of the coaches in the Southern Conference, so that's just a reality.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's just a different world.
Yeah. So I think as a coach, not taking it personal when a guy is looking at those opportunities, because like for their life, like that's a really important thing. And so I think really, we want to try to retain as many guys as we can. That's what we want to do. But when a guy has a chance to go and really benefit his life and his future for many, many years down the road, like, you really want to be excited for him, and be excited for him.
That's right.
So, we want to, at the end of the season, I mean, we have talks during the season with our guys, just trying to, talk about what they're thinking and how they're enjoying it. And, unfortunately, like for us last year, we had probably every guy on our roster, I would say to a man, would say, hey, this is one of the most fun, enjoyable years I've ever had playing basketball.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the guys that said that, they still went to another school, just because of the opportunity that they had. And so for us, I think it's trying to be the best advice, give the best advice that we can for guys. But they're, going to lean on their parents and agents a lot of times too. And so just hope that they get really good advice, because it can go really well, or it can go south. And we've seen it, both ways for guys that have left the program throughout the years. So you try to advise them the best that you can.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's an aspect too that, I mean, it's changed so much just in terms of, how long you have with a player,
right?
Not 2 or 3 years at times. Now it could be 9-10 months. But I still think even if it's 9 to 10 months, you can still have an impact. You can still develop the relationship. And I think that's still important.
Right. And that, I've tried to talk to our staff a little bit and some of our fans and people, because college basketball fans, they get frustrated when a good player leaves, and understandably so. But I've tried to put a twist on that. It's like, look, do we want to try to retain? We do. I mean, we're going to work really hard at that. But, just think about the fact that now, the way things are now, we get to bring more players.
Yes.
Like, you're going to, in a 3-year, 4-year period, you're going to coach exponentially way more players, individual players than you would have 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. I mean, I haven't done the math whether it's double or triple, the number, but you're gonna have a chance to impact and be around and influence way more. Way more people. Well, there's just going to be more players coming through that door. Right. And I've tried to, talk to our Western folks about, hey, we get to bring more people to Cullowhee and enjoy Western North Carolina, and
gotta look at the positive,
see how great this place is, and they've enjoyed it. They loved it. Even the guys that left. So it's you have to continually and consistently, I think, evolve as a coach, and not just how you play in your system and how the game changes on the court, but certainly how it is impacting recruiting and developing and trying to impact players and develop their character in all areas of their life, and recognizing that, for what we tell our guys we're recruiting, it's like, we don't care if we coach you for 4 years or 9 months, we're going to give you everything that we got.
Exactly.
And, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years or 9 months, like, you're going to get everything that we have to help you become a better man and also a better player.
Yeah, for certain. And I think that's very important. And you talk about the NCAA tournament and that chase for the NCAA tournament, but you've been able to experience winning the Big South there at Gardner-Webb. Can you even describe, put it in words, what it's like, solidifying that opportunity to be in the big dance?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put it in words, but at a place like a Gardner-Webb, and for Western Carolina, we haven't been to the NCAA tournament in 30 years, 1996. And we've had some great teams here. It doesn't mean we don't have a really good basketball tradition. We do. We've had really good players and coaches and had some great teams here that have been close over the years. But it's been 30 years, and it's just been one time. So at Gardner-Webb, when we went, it was the first time ever. Yeah. So it would be a similar type of deal here, where it's hard to describe kind of what it means to everybody.
That's right.
Everybody associated with the university in any way is just, like, so excited about it.
Yeah, of course.
So it was a awesome, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, from winning the tournament to playing in the game and just going through that. So, when you've experienced that, you want your players to have a chance to experience that. And we've got a couple on our roster this year that were at other schools that did have experienced it, which is cool. But you want your players to experience that. And for me, like, the folks at Western, man, our Catamount fans and our administration and just people, that the community is so awesome here.
There's no doubt. And they love basketball here.
Yeah, they do.
So there is a lot of history. I mean,
there is.
The very first 3-point shot made in college basketball, Ronnie Carr, November 29th, 1980.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
There's a lot lot of history here. That's for certain. Now, did you grow up in terms of, like, the NCAA tournament? You have your brackets and, just being, fully invested in watching everything college basketball.
Yeah, I did probably about maybe 6th or 7th grade is when I really started getting into it. My dad was like a big football guy. Okay. He kind of got me into liking North Carolina because he liked Dean Smith. Yeah,
I was a huge Michael Jordan fan.
Right.
From North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watched. That was my first true memory of watching him hit which ended up being the game-winning shot.
Right. So that, for me, it was kind of like I started watching North Carolina when Coach Lebo was playing. Yeah. And I got a chance to work for him, which was awesome. But from that time forward, love college basketball and filling out the brackets.
That's right.
Seeing my kids doing that now, they're great. It's awesome. But there's nothing like that. March Madness, That's special.
Right. Now, how did you become a baseball manager at Florida, though, rather than basketball?
That's a long story. It basically comes down to I wanted to play college basketball. I did play baseball in high school, was not very good, was a better basketball player, really was like a Division III level player, and should have gone and played at some Division III schools. And in the end, I just decided not to. And I had an opportunity to go to University of Florida. I grew up in Florida, and a family friend
their father was the associate AD for equipment, or I don't know what his actual title was, but he was in charge of bringing on managers throughout the athletic department. But not for basketball. Basketball kind of did their own thing. I knew I wanted to coach, so I would like to have gone to basketball because I wanted to coach basketball, but that opportunity wasn't there. And so it was always kind of floating there that, hey, you could go to University of Florida and have an athletic scholarship to be a manager for the baseball team. And so in the end, I just ended up doing that.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was a great experience. Looking back, I wish I would have played in some ways.
You do? Why do you say that?
Well, it was a hard adjustment. You know, you go from like just all you're thinking about is trying to be a good player and play college basketball, and all of a sudden you're not competing anymore.
Yeah.
So it was, a rough freshman year for me, just adjusting to that. So I know I would have loved going to play.
Yeah.
But it was a great opportunity for me at Florida. Met great friends and worked for a baseball coach named Andy Lopez, who was a college baseball Hall of Famer, won national championships at multiple schools. So it was a great learning experience for me in terms of, even the coaching profession, even though it was on the baseball side.
That's right. And obviously from a basketball perspective, I mean, Florida was good back then.
They were, yeah.
Yes. I mean, very good with Billy Donovan.
Yeah, they were.
Leading the helm there.
For sure. Yeah. And Coach Donovan had just come in to Florida while I was there. So it was like Coach Kruger was there for maybe his last year, and then Coach Donovan, but I didn't really do anything with the basketball program other than work their camps in the summer. That was really, really it.
Yeah, well, hey, summer camps, that was the tour. Right. I mean, I remember going all to the different various places, because that's how you became familiar with other coaches and the fraternity of basketball coaches, and it's even looking for job opportunities.
Good way to network.
Yeah.
And just, it's really how I got hired at Auburn, is working basketball camp at Tennessee Tech when Coach Lebo was the head coach there.
Yeah.
And I was reffing, officiating 10 games a day.
That's
in
right.
An air-conditioned gym, for
exactly.
for a few days up there in Cookeville. And, years later, I got an opportunity to work for him, but it started with doing a good job at camp.
That's right. That's how it happens. And now Tennessee Tech coming into the Southern Conference. It comes full circle for you.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. My brother played football at Tennessee Tech, so he was a quarterback at Tennessee Tech. So that's kind of really why I started working camp, because he was up there when Coach Lebo was there, and I was coaching high school. So we started, taking some trips up there a couple summers and spending time with him, and then being up there working camp.
Yeah. So is he a better athlete than you? Or
better football player for sure,
Yeah.
and bigger. Certainly better at some things. I don't think he was a better basketball player.
Oh, there you go. I love that. Was it competitive though within your family?
Well, I was 5 years older.
Yeah.
So
that's a talent. That's a challenge, I should say.
I was 5 years older, so we weren't really going head to head, in the backyard or anything.
Especially once you got to a certain age,
right?
Because then, I mean, you're doing your own thing as you become a teenager, and it's a different era there. All right, just from a perspective of for this upcoming season, for the Catamount fan base out there, what can they be excited about for this upcoming seation?
Yeah, well, we've only been with the guys for 2 weeks.
Yeah, trying to learn everything.
I think they're going to love our returning 2 scholarship players, right? Samuel Dada has looked really impressive this summer in year 2.
Talking about physical.
Yeah, just physical and just a confidence about him, which is awesome. Tay Smith is going to take a great step for us as well. So those 2 guys, I think, inside, rebounding the basketball and just seeing their progression as players is going to be exciting to our fans. But with these new guys, we got 6 transfers and 4 freshmen that are really exciting players. And I think our staff did a phenomenal job recruiting in the spring. And I think we've got a good group. If I would say maybe some differences that I would expect from our team is that we're more athletic. We're more athletic across the board. And I think that will lend itself for us to be a better defensive team than we were last year. Last year we were kind of, around tied for fourth or fifth in defensive efficiency. And I think like you got to be in the top three.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a chance to,
you got to make
finish
stops
at
at
the top.
times. Yeah.
If you're going, and we got better. We got better throughout the year. But I think if you're going to have a chance to be at the top of the league, you got to be in the top three defensively. And I would in the early time I've seen this group, I would think we have a chance to do that with our athleticism, and we have more length at some positions. So that's exciting to me.
What about from a physical standpoint? Because I've talked to several coaches in the Southern Conference, and they've made the comment, my goodness, in that game against Western, we got punked. We got out physicaled. And that seems to be a theme for your team. So is that something that's very intentional, especially like even from the rebounding perspective? I mean, you guys did such a great job in being physical.
Well, I think from an identity standpoint on the court, we want to be a really physical team. We want to be a really physical team. We want to foul less than we did last year, but the physicality is something we talk about a lot. We work on it a lot. The rebounding last year for us was something that we did a little differently on the offensive side of the ball, and it was great. We ended up leading the league in offensive rebounding. So we hope to continue to be on that path in terms of doing a great job on the glass. But we definitely want to be that type of team. It's certainly who we want to be from an identity standpoint.
Yeah. How much do you dive into the advanced analytics in terms of how you're evaluating not only your team, but scouting other teams? Or is there still, somewhat of a feel, eye test, watching film and not just looking at advanced analytics and making determinations?
Yeah, I do look at it a lot. And I think it's a combination of both. Probably most coaches would say that. But I do try to dive into the numbers on a lot of different things. And
see, I'm a stats guy.
Yeah.
So I love it, but you can get overwhelmed.
Yeah, you can, and I have to be careful because just for my personality, sometimes I'm giving people too much information.
Exactly.
And so you got to be careful, like with your players. Not that they can't handle it and comprehend it, but it's like the point of everything can get lost.
That's right.
If you're putting too much information out there. So I think the analytics can really help you kind of dive into where your team needs to improve, and we try to measure that and really take a deep dive into that at different points during the year with maybe how we need to adjust or emphasize some different things. But it's also kind of what you're seeing and what you're watching, and that's a part of it too. And I think part of the analytics part offensively too, the shot selection has become such a big deal.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
Every coach wants to get as many layups and threes, and fouls. You don't really, that's what you want.
That's right.
But I think you've got to kind of mix that emphasis with kind of the soul of your team and your and the individual player.
You do.
And the individual player, those guys aren't robots out there. And
because there's still a feel to the game.
I think there is. Yeah, I think there is. So, I think that's a line you got to walk in terms of trying to emphasize the right shots for that analytically are the right shots, but also understanding that for players, that they're not robots, and
that's right.
And you need some guys to be able to make those mid-range jumpers at times too. It's really important.
Yeah. And speaking of that feel, is that from a in-game perspective, calling timeouts? Is that a feel thing for you in terms of, okay, I'm sensing something, I need to regroup with our guys, or is that, you guys have designated, okay, we're going to take a timeout here?
No, it's more of a feel.
Yeah,
it's more of a feel.
And will you allow your guys to, hey, you're going to have to play through this. I'm going to let the game keep going.
Yeah, sometimes. Again, I think it's just, it depends on the game and the moment.
Yeah.
But whether it's stopping a run that the other team maybe is putting together, or whether it's you look like your guys are tired and there hadn't been a lot of stoppages, or late into the game. What you're doing there into the game, whether you feel like you need to get organized on offense or defense, or whether or not you feel like you want to let it flow. So. It's a feel. I'm not perfect at it for sure. I screwed that up plenty of times. So hopefully I can be a little better in all of those situations, as we all try to grow.
Of course. Well, speaking of growing, The beard looks good, man.
Yeah.
It looks
Right.
great. Yes. Is that going to be your new staple?
Well, the summertime, it's just one less thing I got to do.
That's right.
So we'll see. Sometimes
I like it.
Gets into some superstition sometimes when we start playing games.
There you go. That's right. Yes.
But it's the look for now.
I love it. Yes. I'm jealous because I can't connect. So yeah, I'm very jealous of that.
Well, mine is just all different colors. Now it's now it's a little more gray. It's a lot of gray.
That's
right
coaching
now, so
and parenting.
and getting old.
Yeah, more so from a parenting perspective. Real quick then, speaking of parenting though, you and your wife and fostering, how important that is for you, and one less project. Talk about that.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. So it's just part of our family story, and as we kind of grew and probably really grew in our faith, it was how can we make a broader impact, a larger impact, and
big impact.
So we were looking into adoption, and we had 3 biological kids, and we were looking to adopt a 4th kid and child, and we started hearing and learning about foster care, which we didn't know anything about. We knew nothing about it, and so we ended up taking the classes, going through those classes, which were like really eye-opening to just the amount of brokenness in the world, and just the amount of children that don't have a safe home environment. And it's staggering, the numbers are. And so as we went through that class, we were open to then just becoming licensed foster parents. And when you do that, you don't know, when you just get a call, hey, we have a child that needs a home. Here's the age, male, female. Yeah. That's kind of what they tell you, and you don't really know how long that's going to be. And so you say yes or no. And so we just were convicted really to explore this and in our lives and open our homes to that, and be able to say yes. And so we had some different placements, and sometimes it might be for a weekend, a couple weeks. But really our second placement was our little boy that we adopted. Christian was 3 weeks old when he came into our home, and so we were able to adopt him. And so then, we've tried to continue to foster at times throughout, and we've had other children that have been with us through the years, and it's been a little while since we moved. We haven't fostered, but we want to try to be an advocate for that,
for sure,
and try to really just make people aware.
Yes,
because we didn't know that, and we didn't know, and if you've got a really stable marriage and family and home environment, and you feel like you can bring a child into that, which is not easy. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, but it can be such a benefit for that child, and you give yourself a chance to really be with that child every day, and be able to really have a great influence on their life. And again, you don't know sometimes when it's fostering whether it's going to be a short or a long-term deal, but can be rewarding, can really be rewarding, but it's more like it's trying to focus on the child.
Yeah, right? That's right. Well, I think there's some probably parallels in terms of coaching and fostering, because again, like we talked about, you might not have much time with some of these players, so you can still have an impact.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, like my wife and I were not like any kind of special, parents or anything like that. I mean, we struggle with all the regular stuff. I mean, every day with it. But it's trying to encourage others that, and we feel like, hey, like if we can do it, you guys can do it. And,
that's right. Just impact one person.
Yeah, right? and you see it's going to matter to that one.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
going to matter to that one, and there might be hundreds of children out there, but that one or the two or however many you can bring in, it's going to make a big difference in their lives.
Yeah, I love it. All right, I don't want to keep you from your workout. You might have to go work out, man.
Yeah, that's right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Kraft.